So today I'm going to be looking at trying to build an acoustic drum trigger using some stuff I got from Maplins. I have got a piezoelectric transducer, model number YU85G, and a cheap mono line socket because they didn't have any Neutrik in. This is a 2.8 volt thing. You can get 4 volt transducers, but I figure that if you have a lower voltage needed to actually make it buzz when you're using it as a speaker, it will generate a higher voltage when you use it as a microphone. So let's see how that works. Okay, so here are the elements. The total price of these was £1.59 for the piezo and £1.69 for the mono jack, so it's pretty cheap. Of course, I have soldering kit as well. If you don't have soldering kit, you'll have to buy something, but otherwise, not very expensive. As you can see, there is a slight issue with the length of the plastic outer bit to the socket, in that the wires don't protrude beyond it very much. By the time the socket is in there, there'll be more cable, but it makes it a little bit difficult to solder. Okay, as you can see, I've managed to solder it together. The red wire goes to the centre and the black wire goes to the outside. It doesn't really make a vast amount of difference in theory because it's AC current and it will trigger either way, but audio engineers like to keep things nice and tidy. I've done it this time without burning my fingers, which I normally do. I would strongly advise getting a vice for this kind of work. This is a cheapo one from Silverline. Thank you, Silverline. Finally, I've taped it all up with insulating tape. This is mostly to protect the wires, which are incredibly tiny and delicate. One of the instructables says to tape around the outside of the piezo element as well. I'm not so tempted to do that. I think I'm just going to try it as is. I should probably use heat shrink, but I don't have a heat shrink gun. Okay, so I'm just holding it down onto a table here. I'm going to focus on the input of my interface, and hopefully you'll be able to see that. When I tap it, just where it says meter, I'm getting an input. So it's clearly delivering transients. Now for the next bit. I've got these two Max objects that I have downloaded from forlive.me. One of them is a trigger that takes audio triggers and sends a signal, and one of them is a MIDI note generator that will take the audio signal, the transient generated, and will send it and generate a MIDI note. And these are the other things that I need in order to create a drum trigger. So I'm just dragging them into Max for Live in my user library. They need to go into here. Can't just drag them into Ableton anymore, but they end up in the user library here. I've put the TrigMe send into an audio track. The monitor is set to in and the track is sent to sends only so that we don't get any sound coming out. I've put the receive into the kick drum slot of a drum rack, and it's going to be playing this 808 sound. Now the interesting thing about this is you can use it to pick up from pretty much anything. At the moment I have got this with an input from the internal microphone of the Mac, so that if I click my fingers next to the mic microphone, .808. Okay, as you can see, I have taped the piezo element to my desktop and it is connected to my interface by a slightly longer cable. And here we have the trig.me inside the thing. I've adjusted the threshold a little bit, and if I tap the table, it will trigger the 808 in exactly the same way as before. So, tap it with my thumb, and you can hear the 808 sound there. Finally, here it is attached to a floor tom. In the floor tom, I'm going to trigger the 808 sound in the same way as I did before when it was taped to the table. As you can hear, I've turned the volume of that 808 right up so that you can hear it above the sound of the floor tom. Normally I'd probably have it a little bit quieter than that. And that's pretty much done.